Hello and welcome. My name is Alexis, my real life, and I'm glad you're here. June is my birthday month, so I have had every year on my birthday, I always get super introspective about what I've been doing with my life, what I want to do with my life, what I haven't yet accomplished, what I might never accomplish, what I can still accomplish, and so on. It gets a bit heavy in some of the things, and it gets exciting in some of the things. Heavy in that, obviously, if you start to realize there might be things you're never going to do in your life that you've wanted to for as long as you can remember, it can be very, very crushing. Sad. Sad is not really the word. I suppose depressing is the more accurate word for it. But then there are things that are still things you can do, and not just things you could do on deep day, but maybe you're finally getting to a point where you are able to do some of those things. Um, it's definitely a lot to think about. There's also a lot going on in the world. I mean, we have wars, we have division in this country, the US, and division in other countries. We have climate change. I think it's not even summer, and we have had ridiculous hot weather, heat warnings because of the heat and humidity here. Most of the US was under heat advisories for the past few days, which is not normal. Um, so yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot going on. I know for myself, for the next 6-7 months until November, I really don't want to deal with a lot of the news that is going to be out there. I don't want to see the political ads. I'm sick and tired of the doomsayers constantly saying the other side is going to destroy everything, although I'm also very conscious of studying history and knowing what actions are being taken uh, and that need to be stood against. But I'm also conscious of being able to breathe. It sounds so silly, it's so little. I've had a few days off. I took myself a little staycation, and quite literally, I had a few places I thought I could go. And I thought about going and leaving and going on an overnight trip here or there, but there was just stuff here at home that I wanted to get done, and I haven't had the time or the resources or whatever to do them. So something as simple as taking back bottles and cans, I have limited availability to take them back. The store is only open at certain times during the week, and I work. So I was actually able to do that. I did that this morning, and I was actually able to sort of plan out my days on what I wanted to do. I was able to fix some shelving. I went through the majority of my clothes and I put them in piles of, the keep, donate, throw out. I was able to do some organizing. I wanted to move some stuff around so that I had some, like, it's actually Everton memorabilia that I used to keep it in one like Rubbermaid tub, but it was too small for what I have now. So I wanted to move some stuff around and combine what I had into a bigger Rubbermaid. Um, so yeah, just a bunch of stuff around my house that I was able to get done. And I feel like there's so much going on, and there's so many people who make it sound like it is an all or nothing. And we're all human, and we all fall into this trap of thinking it's either a yes or a no, it's black or white, it's A or B, always. Most of the time, let's say you're thinking of something you need to do and you're not sure how it's going to work, if it's going to go well, if it's going to go terribly, if other people are going to be happy or upset, there are probably as many possible outcomes as leaves on a tree to situations. Some of them, on a whole are going to be bad, and some might be, really good. And normally what's going to happen is the middle, just normal. Not really good or bad, just the average. And I think that if we can get back to, or can get to a place, I don't know if we've ever been there, if we can get to a place where we realize we're all in this together and we're all moving forwards and we all want the best for the people we love, there's a way to find, I say the word compromise, but there's a way forwards that isn't really a compromise to any of us. So I definitely get really introspective, and this is what I've been thinking about. I've been thinking about how some people can very easily imagine how it might feel to go through something that someone else is suffering through at the time. And then there's other people who simply can't or won't, I don't know if it's can't or won't, I believe it's can't, they can't understand something just by imagining it. They have to experience it themselves in order to understand. And how do you get someone who hasn't experienced something, who has to experience it in order to understand, but is very likely never going to experience it themselves? How do you then get them to understand? These are the kind of thoughts that I end up thinking about. And with so much going on, I've had a lot of work, I've had a lot at home, I've just, life gets busy. I decided with the summer solstice, equal hours of day and night, for the days will start getting shorter again, which is kind of sad. The summer solstice is this weekend, and that means that summer is officially starting. So it was time for me to actually get my spring cleaning done, because these are the last few days of spring. So I was really, really glad to be able to just not have plans, be able to decide each day what I wanted to do. Everything is a choice. So when you choose one thing, you obviously are not choosing the other. I really would like to go and visit a friend, and I just couldn't face 5 hours driving there and 5 hours back. So decluttering my apartment a little bit. I took a big bag of stuff to Goodwill. I've taken multiple bags of trash out. I was able to do some cleaning in the kitchen. That's like the front of my cabinets. I cleaned the upper ones, and I'd clean like by the stove, but then the doors on the lower cabinets needed cleaning. I got that done. Just random little things that you don't do every day. They're not stuff you think about, but they make a big difference. So I'm also getting a new fridge this Friday. Mine has been struggling. It started with the freezer in like February or March, and I noticed that every so often I would see it go up to about 60 degrees, and then within an hour it would be back down to 20. And this wasn't when I had the door open. I wouldn't have been in there all day. I'd go and open it and be like, why is this 20 degrees? And there was a sheet of water that was turning into ice on the bottom of the freezer. We had someone come out to look at it. I think that was in April. They told me, you have it too full. I'm like, I don't have it too full. Like, I have lived here for more than 10 years. This just started happening. The fridge is now the unit is making noises that it's not meant to be making. Something has gone wrong. So I got to the point where, anyway, I ended up eating some stuff out of the freezer, and it's less than half full now, and it still does it every so often. I did notice that when there's more humidity in the air, it struggles. So I have steam heat, and when the steam vents in the kitchen, I was like, maybe that's it. But again, I've had the same heat for 10 years. Well, the fridge is now warmer than it should be and seems to be getting warmer and warmer every week. And it's also got liquid water coming from I think it's where the cold air gets piped in at the top of the fridge. It actually has water dripping out there. I've got a Tupper in there, and in the past 2 weeks, it's gathered about two cups, 16 ounces, possibly more. So we don't know what's going on with it, but with it being so old, my landlord's going to replace it. Especially because when we had them out to look at it, they were like, "Oh, you just have it too full." I'm like, it's not too full. Promise you, it's not too full. So but I've cleaned out a whole bunch of stuff from my fridge. I took it as a sign that I probably have had some stuff in there for 5-6 years. Not normal perishable stuff. I keep things like flour and rice and other things like that in my fridge. It keeps them dry. It makes bugs can't get in there. I started this many years ago. I don't really have a huge amount of perishable things. I do have some eggs I still need to throw out because I don't trust with it being in about 50, 52 degrees, and you're meant to have it under 40 for the fridge, and it's been over 50 for about a week now. There is some stuff I need to throw out, but there's, sauces that you use, but then, you don't use them all the time. I took it as a sign I should clean everything out. So definitely was able to get a whole bunch of stuff cleaned that I really just normally I do what I need to, like the dishes get done, or, well, that's a bad example because I'm bad at dishes, but vacuuming, doing the laundry, right? Like there's the things that you have to do in order to continue to have plate for dinner the next night, or clothes to wear outside, or, not be completely covered in cat fur all the time. Although I don't know how much the vacuuming helps with my two cats. So it was just uncommon things, and it felt really good. I have a few more things I need to do. I have an old AC unit I need to take out. It's quite heavy, so I don't know if I want to have someone come and help me because I have a flight of stairs to take it down, and I really don't want to get injured. But I think I did a good job of spring cleaning to getting it done a day before spring ends and summer starts. So feeling a lot lighter. It's funny how getting rid of material clutter can actually help your mental state become less cluttered. I do think I still have a lot more stuff I could probably get rid of, things that I could donate. I don't know that I have enough to make it worthwhile having a yard sale. I'd need like my landlords or my next door neighbors have like a multi-family one, and I don't think that's going to happen. So we'll see what else I can declutter in the next few days. I also was able to organize my Everton stuff. I don't know if I mentioned this yet, but I am wearing an Everton shirt for the second video in a row. I didn't do it on purpose, but this was what I decided to wear today. It's my first time wearing it. I just bought it earlier this year when I was in England. And I did not get Pickford's name and number on the back. I figured that if I did that, he would be guaranteed to be sold this summer. And because I didn't, it doesn't guarantee he won't be sold, but it certainly removes that guarantee that he will be sold, because every time I've gotten a name and number on the back, they've sold that player. So we don't do names and numbers really anymore on jerseys. We being me, the royal we do not do this anymore. One cannot get these numbers on the back of the jersey, for that will ensure that one's favorite player or sort of one of your favorite players, will be leaving us. The royal we. Yeah, don't do that. Don't get the player's name unless they're, they're not going to be leaving. But Everton have to. Well, I read something today that we might not have to sell someone before the end of June, but we've got about 4 or 5 players who it's going to be one of them. If we sell anyone, it's going to be one of them. And Pickford, I think, is one of our highest value players, is England's number 1 goalkeeper. So, yeah, decided not to get his name and number. But I did organize a bunch of my other stuff into one Tupperware. I had stuff in one box and it's not big enough, so I had to get it. Well, I didn't have to get it in a different box. I rearranged some stuff and moved stuff out of a Rubbermaid wasn't full. So now all of my Everton stuff is together except for a couple of tops that I've kept out to wear. So this one, the blue one I had on in the last video, and then a blue first team jersey, which for most of you probably way too much information. Anyway, this is my real life. I did not have very much to talk about today. I have a lot of thoughts, and every time I started to try and talk about any other topic, I just wasn't getting anywhere with it today. So this weekend, I think I'll talk about Doctor Who. The finale is this Friday. So that is exciting for me. And sometimes you just have to take that step back, do a little bit of decluttering, keep your hands busy, and then your brain can work away in the background. You're not even consciously thinking of stuff, and it'll figure stuff out for you. So that is one of my pro tips if you are struggling with some sort of mental problem, like it's something you need to figure out, not a physical problem as in you need to fix something. And I don't mean mental problem like a depression, anxiety. I mean like you're trying to figure something out intellectually. Make your hands busy. Make something. Clean something. Even if it's as simple as coloring in a coloring book, knitting a scarf, doing the dishes, washing the cupboards, whatever it is, keeping your hands busy allows your brain to figure things out for you. So that is my pro tip. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. That is all I got for you today. This would not be my TED Talk if this was a TED Talk. I'd have a different topic. That's so off topic, but that's my life. My brain goes a million miles a minute. Right, I'm going to end this because this has devolved. Thank you for making it this far. If you did, be kind to yourself. I'll see you Sunday.